Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I guess I'll let that one go. We've got a large crowd here today. I thought we might get a little better response. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Oh, that's so much better. It takes a little bit of energy to run these meetings, and I appreciate that. It is customary for our board to begin each one of our meetings with a invocation by a sitting commissioner. During this time, you're welcome to stand and join the board. During that invocation, you're welcome to stand and use it for your own prayer or for a moment of silence, whatever you have on your heart this afternoon. And then we would do a pledge of allegiance to the flag, and I'll ask Wayne Outlaw to lead that for us. And at this time, I'll call on Commissioner Marvin Arrington for the invocation. Commissioner?
Let us pray. First, thank you, dear Lord, for allowing us to have life today. We thank you for allowing our citizens to live in peace. We thank you for all the good things that you have done for our citizens in Nash County during the 2023 year. We thank you for our staff. We thank you for all those who helped make Nash County great. We want to ask your blessings as we gather today and try and do the right things as business for the citizens of Nash County. We know that you will continue to bless our neighborhoods and our citizens. In the name of Jesus Christ, we ask this. Amen.
Amen. Would you join us in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I had the pleasure last week to attend a class in Raleigh that our association put on, and the class was about how to run these meetings to help myself in going through these meetings. It was really titled Controversial Meetings, I think, which fortunately we don't have too many of. It was along the line quite a bit of commissioners working together well. They actually gave us, when we left that day, 7 Legos. Of course, everybody in the room knows what Legos are. If you have grandchildren at my age, you do. But I'll have these 7 here, and I'm going to put them together, and I'm going to set them in front of me so they'll be here each meeting to help remind me that it's the job of the Board of Commissioners to work together well, which honestly we do very well with that anyway. But along that lines, we've got a fairly short agenda today, and I'm just going to start, if you don't mind bearing with us, and ask each one of the commissioners in 2 minutes to tell us something that's great that's happened to them in the last 4, 5, 6 days. Mr. Leggett, can I start with you, if you don't mind, ma'am?
Sure. Just, some personal things that I was great over the weekend. Got to have some good quality family time with different family members that I don't always get to see. So certainly celebrate and enjoy that. Thursday evening, I got to be present for a very special delivery, and that was the delivery of a fire truck to Nash Community College. Right. Kind of my, I guess, home fire department, Momire Fire Rescue, they donated their 1979 pumper tanker fire truck to Nash Community College to be used for training. So they were fortunate enough, they had saved and their money, and they got a new fire truck this past year, and so they were paying it forward by helping provide some equipment to Nash Community. So that's just a few things. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Belfield, anything good happened to you the last week, I'm sure?
Well, there's always some good happening, but there are always some challenges.
We're looking to good things this morning, sir.
Well, one good thing that I've seen happening is still living.
Amen.
God been waking me up each morning, as it say, clothed in our right mind, blood running warm and vein. That's one thing. Another thing is that I just, for the past several days, I seem to feel a lot better than I felt before after aging. And I found myself being able to do some of the things that I used to do long ago. I didn't think I would be able to do. So those are good things. I have some challenges there, especially with my internet and telephone. And this company that Central Link, I'm beginning to declare that's never no fault there.
Should have stopped him, Mr. Attorney.
But I've had a lot of problems with the past.
Okay.
They don't want to do this and don't want to do this. If I don't do this, I do that. I don't
Good.
describe all that.
All right. Thank you, sir.
But it's just, it's frustrating, but I'm not too worried. Because I'm going to start with one way or the other, get rid of them, but they get rid of me. Yeah.
Mr. Wilkins, I know you have good things all the time.
I have a few things. I helped two families this past 2 weeks. One in my district, one was not in my district, and it was a positive outcome. But here's the highlight. I saw the Drifters Saturday night, and that was just wonderful. So that's my good news.
Great. Mr. Outlaw, you make good things happen.
No, I tell you though, I think at my age, I think about every day is just a blessing from God. And my wife says that every day can be as good or as bad as you want it to be. It's all kind of up here. And I'm blessed with a good family. I'm blessed with many wonderful friends. I'm blessed to be able to attend a wonderful church. Church that in the short term is looking a pastor. We had a wonderful pastor Sunday, Dr. Danny Aiken. It was a wonderful sermon, but I'm just blessed with many things. Sharon and I have been together for over 50 years, as hard as that might be to believe if you saw her, but
I agree with that.
I know you would. But, I just have a lot to be thankful for. I appreciate my family and my friends, and I appreciate the fact that I have the opportunity to serve as a member of this board and interact with a lot of people and try to do as much good as I can while I'm here, because we're not here forever. We're here for a short time, and again, when you get my age, you realize it's just a blink. So do good every day to as many people as you can.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Combs, I know you had a good week.
I did.
Thursday night particularly, but go ahead, sir.
We had a good night Thursday night. Everybody knows I'm on running for my reelection this year, but I'm overwhelmed at the support I've had by everywhere I go and people I talk to. I appreciate my family. Most of all, as some of you know, my wife's had a little struggle with her health, and that's all been because of medication, and she's off all her medication, and she's 90% better than she was 2 weeks ago. So I got a lot to be thankful for, and I love serving on this board and doing what I think is right for my district and for Nash County, and I just appreciate all the support I've had. Everything's good.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Harris.
All right. Well, Commissioner Outlaw, he mentioned his age, but he didn't tell me how old he was. But anyway, you look great for your age, and look like you're doing very well. But anyway, as I've stated in the beginning, I'm glad that I have life today. And one of the good celebrations that I attended last Monday was the Martin Luther King celebration at the O.D. Moore building here in Nashville. I think it was a great celebration of the principles that Martin Luther King lived and practiced as he went through life, the the opportunity to be a full citizen with all the privileges, that when we pledge allegiance to that flag, that all the privileges are given to all citizens, regardless of race, creed, or color. And we had a great celebration of a mix of citizens from across Nash County, and I was very proud to be a part of that.
Thank you, sir. Well said. I'll be very brief. I think in the last 5 days, I've had a chance to spend a little time with each one of my 5 grandchildren, and that's what you do when you get in the third quarter of life is, and we're all talking about age. I really didn't intend for that to turn into that, but that's one of the things that you cherish and enjoy. Another great thing is I do have a project going on in Wilmington right now, and once every 2 weeks I have to go down and spend a day on that project, and it has allowed me, my daughter moved there in 2001 when she graduated from Rocky Mount Senior High, and I've tried everything in the world to get her back to this area, and I've about decided it's just not going to happen. But anyway, it gives me a chance for the last 3 weeks. I've had an opportunity to go by and pick her up and take her to lunch, and we hadn't done that in probably 20 years up to this year, so it's a chance that I really cherish. And from a selfish standpoint, one good thing that did happen over the weekend, as we all know, quite a few of us, we had some power outages, and in Dorchester, which it rarely goes out, it went out for about 4 hours in the whole area. And the good thing that happened to us, when it went out, our generator cranked up, and we didn't have to do without power. That was a wonderful thing, and my wife had the water to get the shower that she wanted and that I get talked ugly to if I don't get that water back on as quick as possible. But life is good, and it's been a great week, and I appreciate each one of you sharing the thoughts that you had. Commissioner Outlaw, you generally set up the second meetings and the presenters that we have. Could I call on you to present item number 4 and number 5?
I think I'm going to defer to the county manager because we've
Okay.
been in discussions, and I know she's had major input into
All right,
securing these
fine.
presentations.
Yes,
So
thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Earlier this year, I had the opportunity to go sit with Commissioner Arrington and meet with the Spalding Family Resource Center Board and have some good conversation. And at that time, I let them know that we would have a second meeting in January and that we would invite them to come at that time to come and share with the board what is going on at the Spalding Family Resource Center and some of their plans for future growth. And at this time, I'd like to invite Board President John Perry to the podium.
Welcome, Mr. Perry. How you doing today?
Fine, doing fine, sir. To the chairman and commissioners, county manager, first of all, I want to thank you very much for allowing us some time to come here and speak to you. I know you have a busy schedule, but we thought it was important that you may want to hear what we have to say. We're not going to be long. There's a lot of time that we have that we're going to present certain issues to you and probably a little film and whatever the case may be and a couple of speakers. So we're not going to be long. I think that we have passed out, or do we have the folders? Some pamphlets and things that is part of Spalding that you can look at your leisure as I speak. So I'm not going to be that long. I'm going to get right into what we are here for. The reason that I asked for this meeting was due to the fact that Spalding received a letter, like we normally do every year, stating that our funds were amended and you're going to receive X amount of dollars. And that's a normal, account that we do every year. But the only problem with this, and the question was, and how we came here, is that when I received the letter dated the 28th of June, the letter was a little disturbing. And the reason I say that is because the letter states, in essence, that this was our final payment, funding. And also, the letter also states, please do not apply for funding in the fiscal year 24-25. That's when I asked to speak. And Mr. Arrington has been very good in this, and I spoke with him regarding this. and asked for a meeting. At such time, he contacted the manager, county manager, and we did meet. Matter of fact, we met a few weeks later, and again, I proposed the question at that time. I understand that there's a budget. I understand that there are things that are involved that you must follow. I wanted to know how this decision was made as far as telling us that not to even apply for the fiscal year 24 and 25. That was somewhat bothering to me. So during the conversation, we had a good conversation that day, and it was said that we do have the right to come in and explain our situation. During the meeting with the county manager and Mr. Arrington, there was things that was brought up to give me a reason why we were told not to apply for 24 and 25. And the reason was simply that we would no longer receive monies because the money was going to Senior Citizen Center in Bailey, Middlesex Community Park, and that we would no longer receive those funds. And basically, that was told, supposedly, it was verified that it was sent to us in 2018. That was the first time I've heard of this. I was chairperson in 2018. There was mention of certain people that were involved, and I asked for verification. Was not aware of this law, this statement that was made back in 2018, that we would no longer receive benefits until I received this letter. So that was my reason for the meeting, and this is why I'm standing here before you today. I did ask for clarification, something that was noted. My staff, my board members are very accurate on meetings, and I'm sure if there was a mention of this, we would have definitely been aware of it. I wouldn't be standing before you now. So to have a business like we have, and I'm very proud of what we're doing there, we've come a long ways. And I'm proud to be the chairperson, and the reason why I'm proud is because I finished high school there in 1968. I'm telling my age now. So this is where I started, and this is where we want to give somebody else the same career, let's say, that I had. So it's very important to us that we continue to receive funds if possible, and we're going to try to highlight some reasons why we hope and pray that we can continue to receive funds. Now, there was some mention also in that meeting that it was not clear at the time of the meeting, which was last year, that the county was going to continue funding nonprofit organizations. So since that time, I've kept up with you. I've read the notes, newspapers, and I do see that you have come to an agreement that you're going to continue for the nonprofit organizations, but under a different scale. And I think it was mentioned at that time last year that you were considering United Way. And again, I've been following the papers and saw that that is no longer something that you're going to do. You're going to handle this, but on a different scale. So that really changes the whole complex of the purpose of this meeting. And based on what I'm reading, and there's 4 different factors involved in your last agreement. 4 areas, let's say, that you're going to consider who's entitled to receive funds and who's not. And based on what I'm reading, it appears that Spalding should be involved or should be eligible to apply. Whereas that before we were not going to be able to apply. So I'm hoping, based on your last conversation or last contract that you had with the board, is that we do fall under that new ruling. And I hope to show during this presentation the importance and what you can help us continue to do in the process. okay? I have some people here. Rather than me stand up here and tell you how good we are and what we have done, I brought some people with me today that wants to give you their remarks. I think I had 3 people. I only see 2. 3 people here, okay. First of all, I'd like to introduce the mayor of Spring Hope, who's going to give you his remarks. If you want to come up. Mr. Pilot Cal, he's going to present his remarks. Afterwards, we're going to have Ms. Lou Richardson, which I don't think she need a introduction. She's very familiar. She was part of the board, and also a part of Spalding Family Resource Center Board for many, many years, until she recently resigned recently. I'm still trying to talk her to come back, but I don't think that's going to work. Then after that, we have a young lady here who participates in our program, so she's going to give you her remarks as well, okay? We're going to do it in that order.
Thank you.
Thank you for the invite.
Welcome, Mayor.
Commissioners, wonderful staff, great to have you all here listening to us this morning, or this afternoon, excuse me. It is a luxury to be able to meet in the middle of the afternoon, isn't it? I appreciate all of you giving us your ear today, and as the mayor of Spring Hope, I kind of just wanted to go over a bird's eye view of how they're impacting our community. A need that I noticed when I first became mayor was an area, a resource center, exactly what it's called, for people in the outlying communities of Spring Hope, in between Spring Hope and Bailey and Spring Hope and Bunn. And there were areas where they needed upbringing and lifting up and moving on the same trajectory as other more forward-moving parts of the county. And so they started working, and I got involved, and I started listening and watching and looking at the things that they were doing, and I started seeing how it was impacting the community. I started talking to the community members that were being impacted at this, the way that it was helping people's families, and it was helping things in Spring Hope finally start to move forward. A long list of programs that they've gotten, which I won't go through the list now, they will, but there's so many partnerships that they have created and fostered, and one that we were so excited about and was so wonderful was with the county. And the county has done so many great things on the western side of Nash County to help us, and we are humbly grateful for those things. But this resource center is the only one of its kind that Spring Hope in that area has. As far as parks and things for kids and youth and seniors and educational opportunities, this is the hub. This is the hub in Spring Hope. There are plenty of those resources in Red Oak and Rocky Mount and Nashville, but this is ours. This is the one that we have to make sure that succeeds and is able to make that impact on our community. So we have not just things for fun to do there, but also educational. We have educational programs for parents, not just students. We have educational programs on how to build even something as simple that we think we'd all know too much about, building a family and how to take care of a family, simple things that are taught there and shared with others. And so we look at the master plan that was created a couple of years ago and what the venue is, the design plans that were submitted to the state. And there is a tremendous amount of opportunity for this center to serve our community like they already are, but help them elevate it to the next level. They're somebody that we need. They are somebody that we depend on in Spring Hope. We depend on them for so many things. We appreciate the partnership that they've had with the town. And every day, I kid you not, every day, I can look through a text, a phone call, or an email and hear someone say something positive about Spalding Family Resource Center every day. Thank you all for your time. I look forward to hearing some great news come from this board. And again, thank you for the help you have given us on the western side of the county. I know you all do have tough decisions to make as the county as a whole. So thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank
Good to
you.
see you today.
Yes, good to see you.
I think, Ms. Richardson? You're welcome to come up here and sit if you like, and I'll move. Good to see you, ma'am.
Y'all know I put up with this for over 25 years. I can do it the way I want it done. Thank you so much to our manager, the chairman, and board members. Thank you for listening to us today. It's just good to be back. I feel like I'm back at home, but it just was a good working relationship when I was on board, and it still is, and I thank the Lord for that, because Nash County do have good working people, and I often thought about, when I think about it, I don't know if anybody else have, the name of Spalding Family Resource Center. To me, that means something extra to me, because it's family. It do not say the young, it do not say the old, or special needs per se, whatever. But when you say family, to me, that includes all. And that's what I love about all these nonprofits, because if they don't have what you need, it's their desire, and they work hard to try to get the people the needs things that they need. So that's why I'm still trying to work with them. It's getting hard now, because when you put a few years on you, you have to kind of slow it down a little bit, and that's kind of hard for me to do, but the body's telling me to do it now, and I try to be obedient to it. So to the manager and board, and to all Nash County, because when I always think of Nash County, I don't think of just the people in office or the high, whatever. I start at the bottom.
Amen.
The lowest person on the agenda to the highest. This one is just as important, equal to any, the top or any in between. It's all for one, and we have to look after one another. And I'm glad to say that, as far as I know, Nash County really works good about that. No, we're not perfect, I know that. But you know what? We work to make things fit when they don't seem to, and if they don't fit, we'll work around it until we can make them fit later on. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Always great to see you. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Hello to everybody. Thank you for being here. I'm a student at Spalding and long-term resident of Spring Hope. I'm glad to be here and to make a comment about my experiences at Spalding. Last semester, I attended a class on living a healthy life with chronic conditions, specifically diabetes. It was exciting to be there and learn how to manage my condition and live a healthier life. When classes were over, they offered computer basics. I attended, and I was very much improved on my computer skills. I still have a few classes to attend, and I'm looking forward to the improvement. Most important, Spalding has given me a new sense of purpose, personal growth, and self-improvement, and encouraged and confirmed that there's more to life than wake up, work, home, repeat. My life has been enriched because of Spalding. I now have new friends, extended family, and a sense of what community stands for. It takes dedicated, hardworking, sincere individuals to make Spalding successful. Thank you that we have the right people in the right place, people helping people in a loving community.
Thank you, ma'am. Would you mind telling the clerk your name? She may have got it from Mr. Perry, I'm not sure, but if you would give it to her.
Joyce Richardson.
Thank you.
Now I would like to introduce you to our director, Mrs. Corliss Newkirk. And you're going to have to pardon her because she is coming down with a cold. But she's going to come up now and present some information to you that I think, it's going to be like a 5-minute movie that we're going. So bear with her and her voice, okay?
We can certainly do that.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good evening, ma'am.
And we're going to start. I actually printed the PowerPoint for each one of you, so if you can look at it on the paper or you can look at it on the screen. I will not touch on everything. I'm just going to highlight some things. All right, let's try this and see what happens. Let's see, which way am I going to click to make it, make it go? No, I'm gonna do okay. All right, we'll go to the next one. Okay, so I'm just going to give you some numbers. I'm going to give you numbers about income from some of the buildings that we have and numbers about participation, the people that we have coming. So if we start with the auditorium, and the numbers off of 2023, we received $750 in rental income from the auditorium. That was from a talent show that was held there, in addition to a memorial service. We do have issues with our HVAC system in the auditorium, so we've had to turn down other events, such as memorial services, dance recitals, plays, and other events that people have wanted to have there. The next building we're going to talk about, trying not to strain, it hurts to strain, is our hub building. That's where the majority of our activities and programs are happening at this point in time. It consists of the office, the Spring Hope Library, a computer lab, a speech therapist's office, the playgroup room, and a multi-purpose room. The rental income for 2023 was over $9,300 for that building. They had birthday parties, baby showers, repasts, church services, meetings, and workshops. I'm just going to highlight, you have the numbers in front of you as far as participation. I'm just going to highlight the high school equivalency class, which is in partnership with Nash Community College. We only had 13 participants throughout the year, but we're very proud to announce that we did have 2 graduates this year. We had one to graduate in June, and we had another to graduate in December. And we thank God for that opportunity to serve in that capacity, to be a stepping stone to what may come next for these 2 individuals. And we still have a class that is currently ongoing for a high school equivalency diploma. Another thing I would like to highlight is the community service program. That is a program for I'm going to say smaller or light infractions where they come and do work at the center versus spending time in jail, in the county jail. And it's more than them just coming and doing projects at the center. We actually communicate with them. We find information out about them to see how we can assist them in other areas. And one of the participants in the community service program that we have just now, he's getting ready to start the high school equivalency diploma program because he does not have a high school diploma. So it's not just about the work that they come to do. We really try to find out how we can really help those who are coming for that program. As you can see on here, the different things that happen, there are workshops on finances, there's workshops on health, fitness, and wellness that go on in the hub. In addition to that, the Spring Hope Public Library is in that building as well. They moved in on August of last year, and their numbers have increased from the time that they moved from the depot location in Spring Hope to the Resource Center. And it's all about networking. It's like when you, at the Resource Center, we have so many things available that if you leave one program or if you leave one room, you may find that there's something else there that you can, of interest or that you can participate in. Just as a note, through National Community College, who also does our computer class, we have partnered with them for over 18 years. We've held over 47 classes, and we've served over 1,200 students over these 18 years, and that's at the Resource Center. A note on those who come for the craft and the crocheting class. It's more than just people getting together, the fellowship. Some of the items that they make, the hats, the scarves, the gloves, they're donated to local hospitals, cancer centers, homeless shelters, and other organizations. So what we do at the center, it doesn't stay at the center, it goes abroad. The next thing I would like to talk about is our gymnasium. We had rental income of about $2,700 this year for the gymnasium. It was used for family reunions, birthday parties, for camps, practices, and other events. The numbers are there to show the participation in the gymnasium as well. We could have more in rental income from the gymnasium, but again, we have the issue of an HVAC system. We need one. We're in dire need of one. We can only use the building for about half the year. And so it's like 3 months. At the beginning of the year, we can't use it, and then 3 months at the end of the year. And with an HVAC system, we'll be able to use it all year long. Some of the events, just to highlight, 2 of them. First Class Kicks, excuse me, was a group of young people who wanted to give back to the community but didn't have a place to do so. So we allowed them to come into the gymnasium. They brought gently used and new shoes, and they were able to serve 113 youth and 45 adults, not just with shoes, but with backpacks that was full of school supplies. Just recently, we had the girls' basketball team from Southern Nash Middle. They had something going on in their gym, and they needed a place to practice, and so they came on over to Spalding. And then we also worked with Ms. Leetta Pulley, who partnered with FEMA. And recently, they brought in 302 mattresses into the gymnasium, and they were able to distribute those to disaster relief people and to some locals as well. So our center, gymnasium, and other facilities, they're not just for Spring Hope. Again, we reach abroad. It's for various communities. In the first picture of the auditorium, just to talk about finances a little bit, you saw Senator Lisa Barnes. She was invited out to the center. And we also have a picture here of Director Spade. Click. Let's go. Okay, so we have Director Spade here. When we talk about finances, we just wanted to let you all know we're not just sitting around waiting on handouts. If we didn't need it, we wouldn't ask for it. So we're reaching out to people like Senator Barnes, to Director Spade, to try to help us to do some of the things, especially the big projects that we have for the center. In addition to that, we have fundraisers. We've done a Krispy Kreme fundraiser. We had a Music on the Lawn. We had a holiday cash giveaway. We had a fish plate sale. We had a yard sale. We're doing all we can to get funds, to become self-sufficient, maybe to the point where we won't need county funds, but we're not there yet. Just a special note, we are unique, as Mayor Pritchard had said. We serve ages 0 to 82 in an array of activities and classes and programs. And usually those programs are at no cost to the participants, and no one is excluded. We say thank you to the community. Because of all that we do, we cannot do alone. It requires partnerships, and some of them are here today. We have partnerships with the Spring Hope Chamber, Down East Partnership for Children, the Boys and Girls Club of Tar River Region, Upper Coastal Plain Agency on Aging, the Braswell Memorial Library, the Town of Spring Hope, Nash Community College, CC Spartan Alumni Association. We have various local churches and churches abroad, local businesses, and individuals that do believe in our mission and support it. In closing, I would just like to say to Nash County, you know, you have been a premier supporter of the Spalding Family Resource Center, and we could not and would not be where we are today without your funding. We ask that you continue. The numbers, they don't lie. We have the participation. The community does need us, and we've got some momentum going. And we're just asking you not to pull the rug out from under us just yet. Thank you so much for your time.
I'm going to soon end this, okay? Based on Ms. Newkirk's remarks, we are grateful for everything that you've done for us, and we hope that continues. As Ms. Newkirk said, the main point, the main problem that we're having, I think, in order for us to get to the other side meaning that we will be somewhat dependent to a point. We'll still need the county and whoever we can seek for financial assistance. But we actually want to be dependent upon ourselves to do this. And it's my opinion, and the board's opinion, that if we had HVAC system, the heating and air, that would be our revenue. Those two buildings that you just saw are the two buildings that I think that will push us to the other side. Whereas that we won't have to come to you as often or as much, because that will give us the revenue that we need. As she stated before, we have people constantly coming in requesting events in those buildings. But we have to tell them we have no heat and air. And then they will say, we'll talk to you later when you do. But for the amount of money that we collected last year, can imagine how much money we could receive, revenue we could receive if we had heat and air. And this is what we are trying to do every day. Give you an example. I've had 5 companies there. The cheapest I could find is $75,000, and the highest is $100,000. I've tried every avenue in the world to try to get that money, and we're still doing that as of now. I'm not coming here today and says, give us $75,000, okay? You can if you want to, but I'm not expecting that. So we have 2 buildings. You're talking that $160,000 is keeping us from going to the next level. So any type of assistance that you can give us now would help us get there a lot faster. As Ms. Newkirk said, to pull the rug from us now will be devastating to us, and we will never, probably, not never, it's going to take us some time to get there. And I want you to remember that what you have seen and heard, we've done this in 2 years. 2 years at Spalding, on campus. We've been in business since the 90s, but we moved back to that facility 2 years ago. We have done this in 2 years. So I applaud my board and the people, participant that's coming there. And we're not finished. There's so much more that we have that we want to do. We are talking to every company, every organization imaginable to add on programs. We have another building over there that's not even operational yet. I'm in the process now of getting that done. So once I get that building open, there's 8 more offices there that we can put other programs in. This is our vision. This is what we want to do. And I beg you to consider everything that we are confronted with. And we will appreciate your answer regardless of what you say. Before I end, I just want to thank a few people. I want to thank the people that came in and made the remarks, first of all. I want to thank them. And they didn't have to do, but they, and I want to, for the people that came in supporting us today, could you just stand for 1 minute, please? We didn't come alone. And I want to thank each and every one of you. Because we cannot do it without everybody. I want to thank the Commissioner Wilkins, who was very instrumental in a lot of things. Also, the County Manager, and also Mr. Arrington. They have been very helpful in everything that we've done. If I had a question, I call them, they respond. Again, thank you all for everything. And with that, I'm going to end this, and I'll leave it up to any questions that you may have.
Any questions from board members? Mr. Allo.
I have 2 questions. The first I direct to the mayor, Mayor Pritchard. I know it's been my experience since I've been on this board that Spring Hope does not historically support the Spalding Center funding-wise. Under your leadership, has that changed?
What we're doing presently, I'm talking with the town manager as we stand in the last couple of weeks. Before, we did receive an allowance from the town of Spring Hope. And because of their budget, it was in it. But now we're in the process of again talking with them and the mayor and the town manager. As you know, they were one of the reasons why the library is with us now. So we're coming up in the next week or so to discuss financial programs and whether or not we can go back on that system that we had before. So we're looking into it.
Okay. So
like I said before, we're turning every stone possible.
I understand. So the answer is no, but you're pursuing that.
Yes.
Okay, second question for Mr. Perry or Ms. Newkirk. I know in the recent budget that was approved by the General Assembly, I'm trying to recall, seems like there was like $55 million that was appropriated to Nash County. Is that pretty close to accurate?
Yeah.
And it was my understanding that different agencies, nonprofits, governmental entities, fire departments were all notified as to whether or not they had any financial needs. Mm-hmm. Were you notified?
Yes, we were. And I think we was granted $20,000.
So you got a grant of $20,000 from the General Assembly?
That is correct.
Thank you.
And we appreciate it.
I know you do.
And we hope we get another one.
Other questions from commissioners of Mr. Perry? Ms. Wilkins?
I just want to
Commissioner
ask,
Wilkins.
in regard to Commissioner Outlaw's question about Spring Hope supporting Spalding, even if they were to go back doing that, that still is not going to be enough, I'm thinking, for an HVAC
No, it's
unit.
not.
Is that correct?
What we received years ago was $10,000. I don't know whether or not that will change or whatever, which I doubt very seriously. That will not be a down payment for an HVAC system.
Okay.
I would like to say, whoever's listening, papers, someone may read the
You just
paper.
took the words out my mouth. I was going to make a public call to say any business that's out there in
Thank
the
you.
meantime that has a used HVAC.
Used one. And I mentioned
it's-
this
Yeah.
before in the meeting with the county manager. We will accept used equipment. And so if these papers are here, or whoever's listening, we will be appreciative. We have 10-ton units that we need. Anything less than that, we would have to probably do a lot of work with. But 10-ton units is what we're using, and we need 2 for each building. So if anyone have any used one that's laying around and not using it, and you want to donate that to us, please call, because that will help us until we can get something new. They made glasses for the time that I'm here on this earth. But we will accept anything, and we have done this. We have reached out to everyone to try to get some units. And again, as I said, we mentioned this in the meeting before, and unfortunately, they checked and couldn't find anything. Because I'm aware there are schools, there are things that are folding, that are closing within the county that we may can use. If that happens, we will sort of be on our way, so to speak.
Other questions?
Just a
Mr. Belfield?
comment. Well, I'm glad to see you expanding your programs, the Spalding Center, because I can remember when they were very limited.
Very.
For a long time.
A long time.
And now you're expanding, which is going to impact community, and I think especially the southern part of the county, from Spring Hope on down. So that's a good thing. And keep on working.
Thank you. I failed to mention that. It's not only for the town of Spring Hope, it's going to affect the county.
Yeah.
Whatever we do is reflection on Nash County. We're central located. And we're going to be pulling in people from everywhere. And the reason I say that is because I've had people that come to us already from Raleigh, from Rocky Mount, from Nash, from Wilson, Zebulon. We've had people that come to us already and inquire about certain things. We're central located. There's nothing on this end of Nash County to accommodate the communities like Spalding. The gymnasium holds 828 seating capacity. The auditorium holds 528. The town of Spring Hope do not have a community center now. They are in the process of rehabilitation or whatever. So we could accommodate a lot of events there. Last year, we were contacted by the Board of Election because the town of Spring Hope did not have a community center. And they were considering it. But I said this, no more words, no heat, no air. That was that. So you see that it's very vital for us to move to the other side, as I said earlier, to get us where we want, so we won't have to come back and ask the county to bail us out or to do whatever is necessary. But until that, we ask that you consider all the facts, because we're almost there. And as I said, we've done this in 2 years. And if we can do this in 2 years, how much more can we do in years to come? Okay.
Mr. Perry, the Spalding Alumni Association, I understand, is a different organization.
We are.
Do y'all work together with them, or do they do anything to help y'all with what
We
you're
are
doing?
working with them from day one. We always contacting them for events and things. They do have programs on the campus. That's something that has always been and always will be. I'm an alumni myself. I pay my fees, my dues, or whatever the case may be. They do the best they can, but basically it's the Spalding Family Resource Center that's in control of this, and we have to do what we need to do. But we do work together.
Other comments, questions? Mr. Harrison?
How you doing, Mr. Perry? Excuse me. Well, yes, we did meet with the county manager and your board last year. And I think we came to the conclusion that we didn't find any documentation that stated in the minutes that that would restrict Spalding from applying. Anyway, to my fellow commissioners, this group has done tremendous work. They have taken our old facility and worked very hard to clean it up, make it usable and presentable to the community in which they live. And yes, they have a big hurdle, which is to get heat and air. And as they try to explain that once they do that, they have a building that they can rent. And rental income is my experience is that there are a lot of people that want to do repasts, they want to do family reunions, they want to do baby showers, birthday parties, and once they get this heating and air unit, they'll be able to pretty much live off a rental income. So we need to try the best we can with all the different resources, the Town of Spring Hope, Nash County, nonprofits, the General Assembly, to try and help and get them to move this one obstacle. And I believe working together we can do it.
Thank you,
Thank
Commissioner.
you very much. Thank you.
Anyone else? Perry, I'd like to just give you that note, and if you'd get back with me on those two questions right there, I'd appreciate it, if you don't mind taking that with you. I won't put you on the spot today.
Okay. I'll get back to you. Okay, is that it?
Thank you for your time, sir.
And thank you again.
And I
each
want to
every
thank all of the people that are here with you on behalf of Spalding Center. It does show well to have this many people come out and support you on your request.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Outlaw, am I turning item 5 over to the manager as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes, today for our inside presentation of county departments, we have Thomas Gillespie with Recreation and Senior Services and Ashley Winstead to give you all an update on what's going on in our Parks and Rec side and our Senior Services side, what activities and numbers they are producing, and what their future needs are.
Thank you, Stacy.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Thank you all for allowing me to give an update on the Parks and Recreation Department. My staff and I, we greatly appreciate the support from the board, county administration, and the citizens that we serve here in Nash County. So some topics that I will be covering today during this presentation will consist of an update on our participation numbers from 2023. I will give an update on the baseball, softball tournaments that we hosted during 2023. I will speak on upcoming improvements at the county parks in which we operate, maintain, followed by a list of challenges that we are currently facing within the department. So in 2023, our department had a record number of participants sign up to participate in our program offerings. In total, we had 5,641 program registrations, which is a 1.85% increase from 2022, in which we had 5,538 registrations. Of the 5,641 registrations, 4,191 consisted of our youth and adult athletic programs. This was a 19.9% increase from the 3,495 participants that registered in 2022. So just highlighting some of the success of the individual programs, adult basketball had the most participation of the programs that we offered for adults, with 321 participants combined in our winter and summer adult basketball leagues. Our biggest youth program that we offer here in the county is our soccer program. In the spring of 2023, we had 706 participants. And during the fall, we had 590 participants. When looking at non-athletic programs, our Daddy-Daughter Dance is our biggest event that we offer to the citizens here in the county. In 2023, we had 359 participants. This was the first time we offered this event since 2020 due to COVID-19. However, just recently, on January 6th, we hosted the event for 2024, and we had a total of 446 participants. So the dads and daughters are getting back out and ready to dance. As you all may know, our department, we're steady growing, and we are increasing our program offerings. which can cause budget challenges. However, to assist with that challenge, our department, we depend on support from community sponsors. Last year, we collected a total of $52,118 from sponsors to assist with supplementing our budget. This was a 56.5 increase from the $33,308 collected in 2022. And we also offer summer camps throughout the year, throughout the summer. We had a total of 205 participants in our summer camps, and we had a Paws and Claws event with 95 participants where the citizens can bring their pet and take a picture with Santa Claus. In 2023, we also hosted 18 baseball and softball tournaments. Of the 18 tournaments, 4 of the tournaments were large softball events in which our staff has to go put in a bid at Myrtle Beach every year. We put in a bid to host the Top Gun softball spring, summer, and winter World Series, and we've been awarded that bid for 3 consecutive years. And we just were informed that we'll be hosting those events for a 4th year a couple weeks ago. Also in 2023, we were awarded the Halloween Havoc softball tournament, which was previously hosted in Kinston, North Carolina. Those 4 major tournaments that we hosted last year brought in teams from Kentucky, South Carolina, West Virginia, and different parts of North Carolina. And this next slide just shows a graphic detail of the number of teams that have been participating in the spring, summer, and winter World Series. As you can see, that number has increased just about every year, and we're anticipating that we'll have even more teams this upcoming year. By hosting these tournaments, it provides a variety of benefits. These tournaments attract teams and their families who spend money on hotels, restaurants, gas, and other local businesses. This can have a significant impact on the local economy, particularly in small communities. So the next 2 slides, I just want to give an update on the upcoming park improvements at the parks within Nash County in which our department operate, maintain, or provide services. While Nash County Miracle Park at Coopers is the only park owned by the county, I wanted to update the board on upcoming improvements at the other locations as well. The first park I would like to update is Miracle Park. Upcoming improvements at the park will consist of sand volleyball, small and large dog park, disc golf, event stage, additional parking, and extension of the walking trail. The total budgeted is $886,696.12, with $425,000 coming as a grant from the North Carolina Parks and Recreation Trust Fund. Construction on Phase 2 at Miracle Park began in October of 2023. Next, I would like to discuss the improvements at Glover Park. The town of Nashville was awarded a Part F grant in 2023 for $316,380 to assist with park improvements. Those improvements will consist of pickleball courts, a splash pad, a restroom, shelter structure, and the estimated project cost is $632,760. Moving on to Ennis Park, the town of Red Oak is currently constructing 3 pickleball courts that will be completed within the next months. The estimated project cost is $125,000. In 2022, the county applied for CDBG CV funding for walking trail sidewalk expansion at Spring Hope Community Park and Castelia Community Park. The total estimated cost for the expansion at Spring Hope Community Park is $99,000 and $94,600 for Loop A and $99,000 for Loop B at Castelia Community Park. At the moment, both projects are still under environmental review with the state. And the last park I would like to give an update on is the Bailey Middlesex Community Park. Currently, there are no scheduled improvements. County staff met with leadership for both towns in December to discuss a plan for future park developments and improvements. So hopefully we can reconvene and discuss a plan, get a plan for moving forward for the improvements at Bailey Middlesex Community Park. So challenges within the Parks and Recreation Department. I identified two challenges, two major challenges in our department, and that consists of staffing and the lack of lighting on the athletic fields. In regards to staffing, when I started with the county in 2014, the department consisted of a Parks and Rec director, 3 recreation supervisors, and a maintenance worker, and 1 admin assistant. And we served approximately 2,300 participants annually out of Red Oak, Spring Hope, and Bailey. So fast forward to today, we are currently serving 5,641 participants annually at 6 different locations in the county. And our staff consists of a Parks and Rec director. We have 4 recreation supervisors and 2 additional park maintenance workers along with an admin assistant. With the growth that continues in Nash County and our department, we are in need of at least 1 additional recreation supervisor and additional help within our park maintenance department to be able to serve our citizens efficiently and effectively. Being in a rural area, our parks maintenance division, we have a lot of area to maintain, a lot of land to manage, which can make it difficult to properly maintain the parks, the playgrounds, the athletic fields, which can lead to safety hazards and decrease the enjoyment for our users. The final challenge I would like to discuss is the lack of lighting on the athletic fields at Miracle Park, Glover Park on the soccer field and 2 baseball fields, as well as the soccer fields at Bailey Middlesex Park. Without lights, the fields can only be used during daylight hours, significantly limiting the amount of time they can be used for practices, games, and other activities. This is a major problem in the spring and fall when the daylight hours are shorter. By not having lights on the fields, this reduces the usage, it limits our program offerings, and raises safety concerns. The lack of lights on the baseball fields at Miracle Park forced us to move several tournaments in 2023 to Tarboro, which can be an effect on the local economy here in Nash County. And that's all I have regarding the update for the Parks and Rec Department, and I'll be willing to entertain any questions that the board may have.
Any questions for Thomas at this time?
The lighting you're speaking of is for the Miracle Park. That would be for the 4 ball fields?
The 4 ball fields, we lack lighting on the ball fields as well as the soccer fields.
Okay, so that would cover the soccer fields as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Other questions? Commissioner Wilkins?
Last year, you requested a part-time supervisor of games. Is that what you're requesting this time?
No.
Or is this different?
Last year, we increased our part-time budget. That request was increasing our part-time budget, say, for instance, from $60,000 to $70,000. So that's what we were awarded last year. We also requested a maintenance position last year as well.
Okay, so this additional recreation supervisor you're requesting?
For the recreation division, just to assist with programming, because as we continue to grow, it's more work on our full-time staff as well, which we're capable of doing the job, but I don't want to burn our staff out. I mean, the burnout can take a toll on an employee, and we're steady growing.
So this is a part-time?
Full-time.
Okay, you just said you didn't want to put it on your full-time, so, okay, so the one you're requesting is a full-time
Yes,
supervisor?
because as we steady grow, offer more programs, the workload for the current full-time employees is increasing.
Okay.
Yes.
Other questions, comments? Two I had, Thomas.
Yes, sir.
Well, when you said something I didn't quite get. I know Red Oak has lights on the field.
Correct.
What did you say about Bailey Middlesex?
We don't currently have any lights on the soccer field, so.
Okay. So your request, your comment was down at that park as well as Miracle Park?
Yes.
Okay.
Miracle Park, the 4 baseball fields and 2 soccer fields are not lit.
Okay.
We have the soccer field at Glover Park in Nashville is not lit, along with 2 baseball fields.
But you do have some lit at Nash?
2 baseball fields and the football field.
Right. How about at Spring Oak?
Both of those fields are lit.
Or lit, okay. All right.
They don't have a scoreboard, though.
No scoreboard is at Spring Oak.
Yeah, that's a bad need right there, the scoreboard at Spring Oak Fields.
The last thing I want to ask, I know you converted some of your maintenance to contract. Is that working out pretty well?
It is. It helped tremendously. It helped tremendously.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Just to
Sure.
comment on scoreboards, if they don't have scoreboards at Spring Hope, have they considered what we did at the Miracle Park to provide scoreboards?
I haven't spoke to the leadership of the town about that, but that's something that we
Seems to
can,
me like that would be a good option to
Yeah.
pursue. I think all of our scoreboards were provided by donors.
and I'm gonna take a note of that to speak with the leadership of the town about, see if we can get those scoreboards donated or a sponsor for those scoreboards. Any other questions?
I buy enough sun drops in a year for them to furnish one of them, I think. Other questions, Thomas? Thank you, sir. You always make my day when you come and tell how well your department's going. I appreciate it.
Well, once again, thank you for the support from the members of the board as well as our county manager's office.
Thank you.
You've been looking forward to coming up here, I can tell.
Yes, thank you for having me. All right, so I'll start with our NASH updates. Our current membership is 1,243. With My Senior Center program that we have, we're able to now track our daily average attendance, and our statistics that we are averaging is about 120 so far this year. We are actually seeing lots of increases on fitness orientations as well as our memberships. Even on these cold days, they're all coming out to the Senior Center. Monday is our most popular day. If you rode by our building today, you could probably see there was nowhere to park. Some of our most popular programs are Exercise to the Beat, Bingo. Now we've gone back to the second and fourth Monday, so we're not having that every Monday. And our monthly socials. Some of our reoccurring programs that we have are Tai Chi, Zumba, Body Craze, our monthly crafts and socials. Billiards area is probably our most popular, between that and our fitness room. Some of the partnerships that we have are with Nash Community College. They offer our computer classes. Actionhill Staffing is providing foot clinic services. Legal Aid of North Carolina continues to come out to prepare free wills. We are starting back AARP driver safety class that had stopped during COVID, but now they're able to offer that. The Cooperative Extension, Regina, everybody loves Regina. Her classes are very popular. And Trillium Health Resources, and not listed, it got left off, SHIP, our Senior Health Information Program for Medicare. We continue to try new programs, and we love getting input from our participants. We hold New Year, New Idea in January, as well as participation surveys to make sure that we're offering things that they're interested in. And I have a video.
Great.
So this is Tai Chi. Tai Chi is an instructor-led program. This is Mr. Howard Tang. They come on Mondays and Thursdays to provide this program. It promotes flexibility, balance, and strength. And his class size has begun to grow, and we do put the partition up so that we can separate the pool tables because it can be a distraction. And this is Exercise to the Beat. to the Beat is one of our most popular programs. We offer it 3 times a week, and it is led by Sandy Richardson, our own program specialist. It averages about 35 participants, and we can't add any more. We're already in our walkways, and you can see in the video where some people are standing up and some people are having to sit down. So we want to be able to accommodate everybody. The balls and buckets take up a lot of space, so we often run into storage problems. But we do our best with that because we want to continue to offer that program. On to Southern Nash Senior Center. In March, we'll be celebrating 5 years. Our current membership numbers are 555, and they're averaging about 46 to 50 people on a daily average. Tuesday is their most popular day. Their most popular programs include pool tournaments, video aerobics, and monthly socials. Some of their reoccurring activities they have are line dancing, video aerobics. We offer a chess club and card and game groups. We also have an Andy Griffith study group that they really enjoy. And we often try to utilize our outdoor space for programming as well. We even painted an outline for pickleball in our parking lot. They love to go outside and do horseshoes, so we're hoping to add maybe bocce courts and shuffleboards in the future. We also have partnerships with the Cooperative Extension where they have actually started teaching technology classes for us. They've started Mindful Mondays and Drum Fit. And chair hockey is another popular sport that they have introduced. This picture that's actually in the lobby. So the lobby is a very popular hangout spot. They love to go and play games, card games, and dominoes. So chances are, if you walk in our building and look in the lobby, you're going to find somebody hanging out there. Senior Services, our home-delivered meal program. Tamika Hill is our coordinator for that, and she does a great job at keeping our volunteers and being able to honor them and recognize them. So in this picture, you'll see we actually hold a lead luncheon every year for them, as well as our annual volunteer appreciation social. We're currently looking for volunteers in Nashville, Spring Hope, and Castelia routes. So if you would like to volunteer or know anybody, please send them to Tamika. We currently have 53 home-delivered meal clients and 10 frozen meal clients. We also provide the CSA produce boxes from the farmer's market, and we'll start that program back in the spring. Our current routes are in Nashville, Castelia, Westmount, Red Oak, Spring Hope, Samaria, Bailey, and Middlesex. Transportation, we still partner with Tar River Transit to provide medical transportation. We have 14 clients. We also offer general transportation to our senior center on Mondays. We have 4 active clients. And we continue to offer Walmart trips to Nashville and Rocky Mount. And for all of our services, we'll actually be monitored by the AAA, the Area Agency on Aging, in February. Family caregiver. Wendy Perry does a great job supporting for our family caregivers. We have 30 active clients. She holds 2 support groups, one here in Nashville at the library and one at the Bailey Senior Center. In November, with the support from the AAA, she was able to host a retreat for the caregivers. It was a great day for them to unwind. They relied on local businesses for donated food, refreshments, and even their time and services. So we look forward to hosting that in the future. She recently went through her most recent monitoring in January the 17th. We haven't received the letter for that, but we know she did a fantastic job. Project Lifesaver, we have 28 active clients, and we plan on holding a certification class in the spring with the Sheriff's Office. Any questions, comments?
Any questions, comments for Ashley?
What does that Project Lifesaver entail?
It is for individuals that are prone to wandering, so it's across the lifespan. We serve children and adults, so if they have some form of dementia, a cognitive impairment, autism, then we're able to put a radio frequency transmitter on them that they can wear as a bracelet on their wrist or on their ankle, and then we have equipment that's able to pick up that signal.
Okay, great.
Mr. Outlaw?
Yeah, just wondering, pre-COVID, what would your attendance average daily be compared to now? I'm assuming it's continuing to.
It's continuing to
Move
grow.
upward.
Yes. We were busy before, but now it's definitely. And before, we weren't really able to track it. We have a new software. That's really great, so that helps us.
And I had heard at one point that I thought the sheriff's office had a system where they called elderly that requested that service just as kind of a check-in. Is
They did have
Is
that
that something
program.
that the senior center's involved in, or?
No, but that is something that we have looked at, especially with Nash County Dementia Cares program. So, but the sheriff's office no longer has
But
that program.
that's a possibility, something you look at. I think that's a good program.
Yes, I think it is too.
Thank you.
Other comments? Ashley, you mentioned your walking program at the Nash. Could you say a little bit about that again?
Which one?
You mentioned something about walking, a walking group. Is that inside or is that outside?
They have video aerobics. We have Step It Up. That's in the morning times. That's Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and they walk with that program.
Okay.
That floor is hard for them to walk on, so we have to make sure everybody is very careful, especially if you've had a knee replacement. But we do have the treadmills in the fitness room, and our fitness rooms are still split into two different areas because we can't fit all the equipment back in there once we moved them around.
Okay.
And then at the Bailey Middlesex part, there's a walking trail, so the Southern Nash, there's a group of ladies that use that as well.
Okay, well, we thank you.
Thank you.
For your update. Always very exciting. And Stacy, you had one more update for us. I think you wanted me to call on you for this side.
Yes, and the board, you all were at a meeting before this meeting, and I think you heard at that meeting that Emily Moore is the new Grants and Intergovernmental Relations Director. So I just wanted to take an opportunity to invite Patsy and Emily to the podium for the board to recognize both of them. Patsy is retiring after 20 years of service with Nash County. And if you ladies would come on up and give you all a moment to recognize them. I know we had some kind words that were shared at the last program that we were at, but I did want to give the board an opportunity to express to Ms. Patsy McGee our appreciation for her service to Nash County.
I'll open it up to the board members. I'm the one that I think got ahead of the game just a little bit at our last meeting, but all is good. Please, and we do have a retirement party coming up, again, if she doesn't change her mind, but any comments any board members want to make, please do it at this time.
Well, I'd be glad to kick it off, but I've had the pleasure to work with Patsy for a number of years, and I can honestly say that I'm a person, I pay a lot of attention to the details, and I feel like I'm halfway organized. But you put me to shame. You're just a very detailed, conscious person. You're very organized with your work. And I think Emily has got some big shoes to fill, but I know you've got her ready for this position. I'm going to miss you as an associate in Nash County, but I'm going to miss you as a friend. So good luck to you in anything that you do going forward.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Well, I first met you and learned you when you were working, writing grants for the Upper Coastal Plain Council of Government. And then you moved, and I think from there to Roanoke Rapids, then here to Nash County. And you've been doing a good job of writing grants here and getting them, and writing them in such a way because there's competition for the way those grants are written. And so I think you did a wonderful job during your tenure here.
Thank you so much, Mr. Belfield.
Others wish to
And you
comment?
also worked with my wife with the youth and getting a grant to take them to Washington, D.C. And you went with them, and they enjoyed it.
Yes, sir. Martin Luther King grant.
Patsy, it's been an honor, pleasure working with you for these last 7+ years. You've been a true professional. You've got us a lot of grants, and sometimes I just say, how'd she do that, you know? So that's excellent, and with true professionalism, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Pam.
Emily, good luck to you. You got big shoes to fill, but you've been trained well. We know you can do it. Thank you.
Ready.
You ready?
Patsy, I'd just like to say thank you for all you've done for Nash County, and just wish you all the happiness and success in your new endeavors. I know you won't be just staying home.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Chairman. I was going to say, we go back to Upper Coastal Plain Council of Governments too, and I remember you from then where you were thorough, always efficient, and I appreciated it then, and I appreciated it more when I came on this board in August of 2021. I hate to see you go. I wish you the best, and I know you're within a phone call away, so.
Yes, ma'am.
But I'm sure you leave us in good hands with Emily.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Don't call me.
Commissioner
Patsy, thank you for all that you have given to Nash County, and we really appreciate it. And question, you going, and we mentioned how organized you are, you know, everything so on point. You're going to pass along to Emily how you keep your office organized.
Glad you said that.
There's a secret.
Oh, me.
Well, so far, I've been able to find what I needed in time for the audits, so we're okay. But hopefully, she'll do a better job. After almost 21 years, though, those files get nice.
Yeah, I know that's one secret you're going to take with you. All right.
We're trying to digitize some of those files.
Patsy, my memory, as all of us are, fuzzy sometimes, but I recall you at Roanoke Rapids first and then DeKalb. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What year did I work with you in Roanoke Rapids? That's when we started.
I started there in 91.
91, okay. All right, I knew somewhere back there we had dealings in Roanoke Rapids, so it was in 91. And how long were you in Roanoke Rapids?
I was there 6.5 years.
6.5 years, okay. So I dealt with you those 6.5 years, and of course that was during us doing construction up there, and we actually had an office in Roanoke Rapids at the time. You always impressed me back then, helping us get our planning matters straight, helping us get our permits, and then, of course, with DeKalb, we dealt with you some, and then, of course, I was absolutely tickled to death to see you come with the county. I consider our friendship to be a very good friendship. I will say that I enjoyed watching you raise your first 2 kids as well as the third kid. Sometimes Patsy and I would be going from point to point. Since you've been with the county, I would hear some of the conversations, mostly with her daughter, I think, and they were always entertaining, but she raised the kids the same manner in which she does her work. She expected a lot out of them, I'll tell you, and sometimes she really made me feel bad the way she was getting on them, but she did it her way, I'm sure, and they all turned out great, so her way is the right way. So the office Mr. Arrington mentioned, I'm going to stay away from there, but I certainly appreciate, did you by any chance keep a running total of the number of grants you either got or administrated through Nash County while you were here?
I don't know for Nash County per se exactly, but overall, so far, it's a little over 80 million.
80 million. And that's your total career?
Correct.
Okay, well, that is absolutely fascinating. And I say, like I said a little earlier today, I know the reason the number is so large is because of the way she looked after them, and when people give grants, they expect a lot out of you, expect you mainly to look after their job, administer them properly, and have them ready for audit and be right. And I just know that Patsy got the number of grants she did for the county, because I've heard so many of these organizations say the job that she did is the reason that we got money in future cycles of funding. So on behalf of the county, the board, I certainly appreciate all you've done for us and look forward to us having other things that we'll work together on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
I just want
you.
to say thank you to the board. It's been a great place to work and to raise my children and to live. And we'll say more at the retirement party, but it was a good choice. I spent 2/3 of my career here, and I would have done it again had I had the opportunity.
Wonderful.
But I'll leave you in great hands. Emily Moore will do a fantastic job for you.
Yes, and I'll just say on behalf of staff, Patsy, thank you so much for all of your skills, knowledge, and experience, and all that you've done to bring funding to Nash County for us to continue to build and grow and be a great county. Over in the senior center, I know firsthand with operating on a budget that was probably 2/3 a number of different grants and a third local funding, how important it is to follow the guidelines and to make sure that when you're monitored, that you're going to be able to check all those boxes and continue to get those funds. And I certainly have an appreciation for the work that you've done, and just want to express that on behalf of myself and the rest of the staff. And I would also like to go ahead and ask Emily to step up, because I want to thank Patsy too, because she has taken it upon herself to make sure that Emily is trained and ready to step up to the plate and to carry this torch on for Nash County. Emily is very knowledgeable. She did an excellent job through the interview process, and Patsy is not telling a story when she says she's leaving us in good hands. So, Emily, thank you.
Thank you. Sam, I'm very excited and really looking forward to this new role. And have big shoes to fill.
Emily, your first charge is, what I told Patsy, she couldn't leave until she got done, but she's going to do it. And of course, you both know what that is, that housing grant that we have worked on so long. So keep that as a high priority. Let's get that long-range project completed when we can. I know we're getting closer. And I think Ms. Richardson left, but I know she will appreciate it as well. We've worked on that a long time, but a lot of good things coming out of it, and I appreciate, Patsy, your work on that. It's been a tough one, probably the toughest one you ever dealt with the number of parties involved in it, but thank you for that as well. Emily, we certainly look forward to working with you, and anything the board can do, just let us know, and we'll be glad to help any way we can. And we promise to be kind. Thank both of you.
Thank you, ladies.
To the time.
Everybody okay to keep moving? All right, we go to item number 6, which is the interlocal agreement addressing services for the town of Nashville. And I'll call on Sandy Vick at this time to bring us this good news. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I come before you today asking for approval of an interlocal agreement between Nash County and the town of Nashville, whereby Nash County will provide property addressing services within the town of Nashville's corporate jurisdiction. A copy of this agreement is in your packets. Nash County GIS provides similar services for other municipalities within Nash County through existing interlocal agreements. Would you like me to read the agreement?
Have each one of you read the agreement? Do you need it read?
No, I've read it.
No.
I mean, I've read it.
You read it,
so
okay.
maybe-
Anybody want to see the agreement read? Of course, I have read it and look forward to it. And I'll leave it up to you.
Okay. If you don't need me to read it, then I'm good with that. So also present today is Brad Parker, the GIS, Nash County GIS Administrator, who oversees the addressing for Nash County. And so at this time, we'll entertain any questions if you have any.
Any questions on this?
Mr. Chairman, the only question I have, and it's ironic, I had a conversation with Brad this morning, very pleasant conversation. The GIS system, it's still being updated?
Correct. We have
We had hoped to be ready by January 1 to roll out the new one. We are 2 months behind, so we've asked for an extension with our existing vendor. They have graciously agreed to extend without us having to sign another annual contract. So we've extended that for 2 months, and we are in the process of getting the website portion built. And so that, we hope to roll that out at the end of February, 1st of March. Thank you.
Couple questions. What does this leave us that we do not do addressing for other than the city of Rocky Mount?
That's it.
That's it. So this will be
The town of Nashville and the city of Rocky Mount were the two that we were not doing.
All right.
But this leaves Rocky Mount at this point.
And it appears like the town of Nashville has already approved this agreement.
Correct.
Okay, all right. And I'm certainly glad to see this. In my real job, numerous times we were getting addresses from Nashville, and then we'd get addresses over here, and they'd be different. Recently, the fire station, Brad gave us one address, Nashville gave us one address, and once you get started in the permitting or building process, it's very hard to correct all of those when a bad address gets out there. Another example has been the project my son's doing at Birchwood, where we have had several addresses for the same houses, some issued by y'all. I don't know how it was supposed to work before, but it wasn't working too good, the coordination between them, but it's glad that now we will be, or one or the other, and certainly I'm sure glad as the county will be doing those addresses and to keep a lot of confusion down moving forward. So I appreciate both of you to work on this. Anything else you'd like to say?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, ma'am.
So is it Rocky Mount that's, is there a reason, or they just do their own?
They do their own.
They do their own, and that would probably be an awful large undertaking for us. They've had their good times and bad times. It is running very smooth right now, I would say.
Okay.
Of course, I'm not the one to decide who does what, so whatever, but they've always done their own. I do know that.
Okay.
All right. Any other discussion? If not, I call for a motion to approve the request, which is to allow us to sign this interlocal agreement.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I make a motion for the approval of the interlocal agreement between Nash County and the town of Nashville to provide property addressing services within the town of Nashville's corporate jurisdiction.
Have a motion on the floor. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Second, by Commissioner Wilkins. Any questions on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed by a like sign? Motion carries. And thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Manager, if you would let the manager of Nashville know, that we greatly appreciate them working with us on this. You can make that call for us. All right, next item is Northern Nash Water System, and I'll call on Emily Moore at this time to make this presentation on BRIC. B-R-I-C. Tell us what that stands for first.
All righty, let's see. So BRIC is the Building Resilient Infrastructure and Communities.
Okay.
So it is a grant.
Go ahead.
Nash County's Northern Nash Water System is currently supplied through a connection with the city of Rocky Mount. The county has designed a project to supply this system with its own water through 3 groundwater wells, which will reduce the reliance on the city of Rocky Mount system. The county received bids on the project for all 3 groundwater wells, but eliminated 1 well to remain in budget and to move forward with the construction of the other 2 wells. On October 2nd, Nash County submitted a letter of intent, LOI, for a BRIC grant for the 3rd well. On December 4th, we submitted a pre-application, which was reviewed by a panel, and feedback was provided on January 5th. The proposed budget for the 3rd well is $3,505,700. We plan to apply for $2,629,275 with the BRIC grant, which does require a 25% local match, so that would be $876,425. The application also requires the designation of the applicant's agent. This designation authorizes the agent's representation of the organization with the state of North Carolina and the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, as it pertains to securing funding. So I came with a resolution, and that resolution is what would approve the designation of the applicant's agent, so it would allow us to apply for the grant. And then I did also attach the local match fund commitment letter. But what I need approved is the resolution.
Wait 1 second here. Okay, I see it now.
The resolution is a little unusual looking.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's the reason I didn't recognize it, so it's not a resolution as we're used to looking at it.
No, and about 3/4 of the way down, you'll see the "be it resolved," the little paragraph right there.
I do see that now. All right, and the match for it, do we have an idea where we're going to get that match from?
Tentatively.
Something you would like to say or we need not to say?
One scenario would be some of those direct grant funds that we receive from the state for water and sewer improvements.
Okay, understood. All right, any other questions on this item?
That was going to be one of my questions is, are we committing these funds out of the fiscal year '25 budget, or where we see the match coming from?
Again, I think those direct grant funds would be the leading candidate.
Okay.
We expect to receive those this budget year, but you'll see a project ordinance to receive the revenue and to budget the expenditure if we were to be selected for this grant.
So are we hoping that this would be basically a net zero cost to the county?
That is correct.
Okay.
Basically 100% grant funded.
Okay.
And the grant application's due February 5th.
Okay.
For BRIC.
Other questions? All right, entertain a motion to approve the resolution and the local match.
Move for approval of the resolution and the local match.
Second. Motion and a second. Motion by Commissioner Outlaw, second by Commissioner Arrington. Questions on the motion? All in favor of that motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by a like sign? Motion carries. Thank you, Emily.
Thank you.
Next on the list is board appointments, and I'll call on our manager at this time to make those.
Good afternoon again. The first appointments that we have for consideration are for the Town of Momeyer Planning Board and Board of Adjustment. The Momeyer Town Council met on January the 8th, 2024, and unanimously voted to recommend appointment of Brian Edwards as town representative for the Planning Board, Board of Adjustment. And the council also voted unanimously to reappoint Jordan Jackson as their extraterritorial jurisdiction representative for the Planning Board and Board of Adjustment. These members are recommended, willing, and eligible for appointment.
Entertain a motion for any questions, first of all.
One comment.
Sure.
Jordan just got married, so it'll be Jordan Jackson Felton.
Okay, thank you.
And I'd like to move for approval.
All right, have a motion for approval. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Combs. Questions on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by a like sign? That appointment stands approved.
Okay. And the next one is for the Relief Fund Board of Trustees for the Westmount Volunteer Fire Department. The Relief Fund Board of Trustees of the Westmount Fire Department have a number of changes due to a trustee moving out of the district and another trustee retiring. They are seeking board approval for their trustee number 3 to be Bob Lane and trustee number 4 to be Bruce Pridgeon. These members are recommended, willing, and eligible for appointment.
All right, any comments on that, Commissioner Outlaw?
Keith Langley moved out of the district and David Winstead retired. So I've discussed this with the chief, and this is their recommendation, and I support it. And with that said, I move to approve it.
All right, have a motion to approve these two. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Belfield. Questions on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by a like sign? Motion carries as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Manager. Next item on the agenda is item number 9, which is board, committee, and special reports, and I'll turn it over to Commissioner Outlaw.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Start our committee reports with District 1 Commissioner Arrington.
No report at this time.
Thank you, Commissioner Harrington. District 2, Commissioner Belfield.
Farmers Market, no report. Juvenile crime prevention, no report. Upper Coastal Plain Council of Government, we had the auditor presented the audit report, and it was unanimously approved. No issues were at hand. Had a lot of other things we discussed, but one thing I want to call attention to is under the EPA, they have this brownfield assessment where you identify contaminated areas in your county, and and the Upper Coastal Plain Council of Government has grants from EPA, and we can apply for part of that grant, and I think that it is 1.1 million total. But for 24 though, we get the Upper Coastal Plain Council of Government will get $500,000, and some of that money in the past has been used to clean up contaminated areas in Nash County, and I think if we have identified, and you can identify up to 5, I believe it is at least, and you can get fundings for at least 3 of them where they can be cleaned up. So we need to keep our eyes on that, and that money should be available no later than November well, it was November was when they got the money for 24 at $500,000. And so I'm not sure the deadline for the counties to apply for it, it doesn't say in the program. States, did you hear any deadline for the counties?
I don't recall, but I can reach out to the clerk.
I don't recall, but this is an important part of the program of the Coastal Plain Council of Government, and we ought to continue to take advantage of it. Tar River Transit, we had our meeting back in November, and it shows on here that Nash County has $216,739.43 expended during the year. That was during the year of 23, and we will receive an allocation of $17,912 for the fixed year. They will have a total, that will give us a total that we have received since 23 of $234,651.43. And this is to be used for rural general public. Work First, elderly, disabled transportation program. And we should, I know the Tar River Transit is working on, and they also applied for additional grant to expand transportation in the rural areas, especially for the seniors. That's my report.
Any questions for Commissioner Belfield? I have one question. On that toxic cleanup, is that something that the local municipalities can apply for?
I believe so.
Would that be something that Red Oak may have interest in?
We can look into that.
I think that's one thing that I think of there. They
We
have.
can look into that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they certainly ought to.
Thank you.
We'll try.
Thank you, Mr.
It's important to clean these up because they can contaminate water supply over a period of years, and when it's the contamination seep down into the aquifers and can contaminate, especially in rural areas where you have wells. And so we need to clean them up.
Thank you, Mr. Belfield. District
Mr.
3.
Outlaw, a question on
Yes,
your
sir.
comment. Are you referring to something in Red Oak at the service stations, or are you referring to the
I'm
landfill?
referring to the property next to the park.
Okay.
That we deeded to Red Oak.
Right.
And I think they have plans to convert that to a parking area or something. It's an old landfill.
Yeah, I'll let Mr. Boone update you on that, but that has all been taken care of, but.
Okay.
Yeah, and generally, the brownfield grants is all about redevelopment. It's about taking industrial sites, abating the site, and making it available for redevelopment. To
That's
Chairman's
the only
point.
site that came to mind when he gave that report, so
Ron Townley with the COG runs that program with the brownfields, and he's in touch with the county and the.
I'm not aware of
county
any
jurisdiction.
businesses that would have
Okay,
any need
I
for
thought you
that.
might
no.
know something I didn't know.
No.
That one has been real close to getting funded, we think,
Good.
and should be taken care of.
District 3, Commissioner Dan Cone.
Okay, Human Services Board, you know, the biggest topic we talk about is DSS right now, and everything's going well. The state's still down there. They've reported to us on a regular basis, as they have reported to the board. Everything that we get from the state is very complimentary of what's going on there now, and we're following the plan that they're giving to us, so that's all going well. Agriculture Advisory Board has not met. Trillium met November 28th, and we'll meet again tomorrow. I want to say that Tina will be on that board as well, on the Central Regional Advisory Board. The announcement was made when we met in November that the consolidation of Trillium along with East Point and Sand Hills were to merge, and it's going to be Trillium Health Resources, which we're very proud of. It will consist of 46 counties now that Trillium's in control of, function with, and that was effective January 1st. And so we'll learn a lot more about that tomorrow, but that was good for Trillium. Then that's all I have. Gwen's going to do economic development.
Any questions for Commissioner Cone? I have just one. Does that mean that Trillium will continue to lead instead of East Point?
Yes,
With that
Trillium will
consolidation?
lead. Yes.
Yes.
They'll be the lead Trillium. Thank
Yep.
you. District 4, Commissioner Leggett.
Okay. First, I'd like to give the report from the hospital board. UNC Nash has welcomed 3 new members to the hospital board. They are Ms. Kristen Bravel, Ms. Tamika Gray, and Mr. Dean High. As well, we thank the 3 long-serving members who are rotating off the board. Those are Mr. John Barker, Mr. Butch Holland, and Ms. Jean Kitchen. The hospital works continuously to improve their service and experience in all parts of the hospital, and specifically, recently, they have improved patient experience by 10 percentage points in their emergency department, even despite high patient volumes recently. UNC Nash continues to be recognized for heart and stroke care here in our community. This is noted by their receiving of awards and recognitions from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the American College of Cardiology for their industry-leading performance. The hospital always looks out into the community for ways to improve the social determinants of health. The hospital partners with the Hospital Foundation as their philanthropic partner, which does help the hospital to address these social barriers to health and improve the well-being of our community. Specifically, their efforts include, for this past year, providing nearly 1,000 food boxes to food insecure patients upon their hospital discharge, by providing over 6,000 home visits by their community paramedics, and through over 600 different patient assistance interventions such as medications, medical equipment, transportation, clothing, or home necessities to allow patients to better manage their health at home. The Farmers Market Advisory Board has not met. And for the Natural Resources Resilience Committee, they most recently met on January 11th of this month. There was 2 different programs that we were briefed on. The program, or the meeting, was led by Cole Strickland, who's the director of our county Natural Resources Conservation Service. The 2 programs were the Stream Flow Rehabilitation Assistance Program. That one was for work along the Swift Creek, which has been completed, and the project was approved and inspected on December 13th of this past year. So that was just very recently completed. And our State Division of Soil and Water is accepting another round of applications, which are due in February of this year. Another program that the county is participating in and looking forward to is the Emergency Watershed Protection Program. And that's where they look at sources of overflow areas where water can go in flood events. That's all I have.
Any questions for Commissioner Leggett? Hearing none, I'll give my report. First, I'll report on the Upper Coastal Plain Rural Planning Organization Transportation Advisory Board. I don't really have anything significant to report from the January 17th meeting, but at that meeting, County DOT Representative Kim Moore gave an update on the DOT project around Nash Community College. I'll share with you what she shared with us. She said the Eastern Avenue to Nashville was opened as of January the 16th. So from Nashville up to Sheets, it's open, completely open. The Morning Glory roundabout on Old Carriage Road should be completed in the first quarter of '25. The Sheets to 64, future 87, should be completed by end of year, this year. The Sheets to 95 should be also completed by end of year. So by end of year, everything should be completed, weather permitting, except the Morning Glory roundabout. And again, weather permitting, that should be completed by first quarter '25. And I spoke to the chairman before I made this report because I asked him if he was planning to do it. He said that to go ahead and do it since I had spoken to Ms. Moore about it. But that's progressing nicely. If you've been on the road from Nashville to Sheets, it's a nice road, and I'm very pleased with what I see there. Our next meeting would be Wednesday, March the 13th. Nash Community College Board of Trustees, again, nothing significant to report from the December the 11th meeting, but I do have an information and fact sheet from the meeting that we had on the 11th, and I've got copies here for the board. I've got copies for the 3 managers, I've got a copy for the attorney, and I've got a copy for the clerk, and I'm going to let you put those out whenever you feel like it appropriate to do that. There's a lot of good information in there, and I'd encourage you to look at it. It also speaks to $30 million request that was made to the North Carolina General Assembly. I think they got $1 million seed money towards that particular project, but it's covered in there. Be glad to answer any questions if you look through that. If I can't answer it, I'll get you a response from the president. On another thing I want to mention on the Vet Tech addition, at the back of the college, we're putting an addition for Vet Tech, and it's got an outside dog run area. That should be completed within 2 weeks and occupied. The facility pad work that is being done on the Edwards property, the permits have been received. The construction will start in about 2 weeks, again, weather dependent, and it should be completed in 6 months. I don't know if you've rode up 64 lately, but if you want to see kind of what you're going to see out there, ride by the Wake Tech addition on 64, and as you ride by, look to your right, and you'll see a tremendous pad, and that's what that is there. But this should all be completed in about 6 months. Nash County Broadband, Ms. Moore will continue to provide updates as Ms. McGee did, and our next update will follow our meeting on the 14th of February. That'll be our next meeting. Any questions? Hearing none, District 6, Commissioner Wilkins.
I attended the Gateway Technology Board meeting last Tuesday, and the building manager there presented quotes for carpet, to replace the carpet towels and some of the chairs. The reflective window films that I mentioned a few months ago have been placed on the windows for security and privacy. They received a clean audit, and the board accepted the financial report. During that meeting, North Carolina Wesleyan University reported on the Shelton Challenge. It will begin in July, and what it is, it's a crash course in development and personal growth. Also during that meeting, ECU, the retention numbers are going up, offering a bachelor's in psychology, BA in cybersecurity technology, which they said they were expecting low enrollment. A bachelor's in disciplinary studies, which is geared towards the military, bachelor's in criminal studies, and Wesleyan spring semester began January 17th, and they did say their graduation rate for the university was up 3%. The the Nash County Economic Development Alliance met on a month ago, I think it was, 2 months ago, I'm sorry. And a presentation we heard from Ryan Combs, who's the Executive Director of Research Triangle Regional Partnership. He presented on serving different areas as a connector between businesses and counties and cities looking to expand, businesses looking to expand or relocate. The I-95 North Carolina 97 Shell building is under construction and should be ready in March of this year. The WIN Academy, which is work in Nash, the content is being finalized for the next round of videos, which will highlight the different clusters we have here in Nash County. West Nashville Commerce Park is moving along with 10,000 square foot shell building, and Nashville Business Center moving forward with 40,000 square foot shell building. Those were some of the highlights. The Rural Action Caucus of the National Association of Counties met via Zoom last Thursday, the 18th. The Deputy Undersecretary with the U.S. Department of Agriculture gave a brief update on open funding opportunities, and anyone interested in that, I have a link I can send to them. Seamus Dowdell, Associate Legislative Director for Telecommunications and Technology for NACO, gave an update on the Federal Communications Commission ACP program, which is the Affordable Connectivity Program, which takes $30 off your Wi-Fi or internet bill, and you can connect with your internet provider to see if you qualify. I know one of the requirements was you couldn't make over, I believe it was 200% of the poverty line. NACO Legislative Conference is next month in Washington, D.C. And that is all I have.
Any questions for Commissioner Wilkins? Hearing none, District 7, Commissioner Davis, and after Commissioner Davis completes his report, he will resume the agenda.
Thank you, Vice Chair Outlaw. Two boards I report on, the MPO have not met since we reported last. Our next meeting would be on February the 20th. I appreciate the update from the RPO, and Mr. Outlaw, having riding that quite a bit at night, it is the fact that it's open. We have some training to do with our drivers on the dual lanes. It's causing some issues, and of course, the lighting that you and I both are pounding the stake for would be most helpful, so we got to keep that, but that dual lane is tough.
I did confirm with Ms. Moore that that lighting is in the plan, and it should be in the March, April timeframe once the project's complete.
Okay, all right, that's very important. And what I'm speaking of, you know, the roundabouts that we had were single lane, these are 2 lanes, and the people are just kind of all over everywhere, so when you go through there, watch yourself until all of our drivers get more accustomed to the dual lanes that are going through there, particularly at night. The TDA did meet on January the 9th. It is our second meeting of the year. There's no funding involved in that. What we do is get an update on where we are, and we also receive our audit and approved audit for last year. It was a clean audit, and our funding is still looking very good. It has moved forward quite a bit since COVID, and we talked about various other projects that we could utilize the funding for. Got a review again about where we stood with the city of Rocky Mount and them getting us a project to spend their funds on. Haven't received anything from them yet, but I'm sure it should be coming pretty soon. But the revenue is looking real good. It's actually improved a little bit more since last year, year to date where we were. So it looks like we would have a good year for TDA again this year. And again, very proud that the audit was clean and the board did approve it. That's my report, sir. And I believe that pretty much finishes up. Madam Manager, do you have anything you want to say before I go into closed session?
No, sir.
Okay. I would call this time for a closed session then. Closed session will be for a couple items of attorney-client privilege and also one personnel matter. And do either of y'all expect any action to be taken after the closed session? Do not. After the closed session, we will return to this room and we will recess until January the 24th. 24th, we will convene in the Commissioners' Conference Room, and that is for a board work session. It is not a budget work session. It is a work session for a couple of other items that the manager has identified that she would like to work with the board on. So with that said, I'd entertain a motion to go into closed session at this time for the items stated.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Wilkins. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Outlaw. Questions on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed by a like sign? We stand recess for about 10 minutes, and then we'll convene in closed session. Thank y'all.